अस्सलाम वालेकुम. Thank you so much, Fauzia, for joining us. कैसी हैं आप?
वालेकुम सलाम बिस्मा. Thank you for inviting me. मैं बिल्कुल ठीक ठाक हूँ. आप कैसी हैं?
मैं भी खैरियत से हूँ. Fauzia, 20 years of extensive experience in managing teams and guiding staff and developing talent. You have your own consultancy. You're leading a conglomerate in learning and development. कैसे करती हैं आप ये सब कुछ?
अब बच्चे बड़े हो गए हैं बिस्मा, शायद इसलिए भी I think I sort of stepped back from the corporate world and started my own consultancy so that I could take my time with things and manage things at my own pace. When my first one was born, the first couple of years I did try to work. Pehle work from home tha. It was a US based company, and then they decided that everybody had to be pulled in. And they were very, very lax with me. हर किस्म की उन्होंने सहूलत दी कि if you want to work, come in for an hour at best, kind of a thing. But it never does work that way, right? So I've been fortunate in that I've had good people who've been supporting me in terms of employers and all. But then I had to step out and, तो अपना काम शुरू कर दिया, and God has been very kind. It went really well. Blossomed, and then I guess what I get asked a lot is कि क्या दिल में आया था कि वापस आ गई corporate world में. So I guess the first thing was that my older one, when he left, तो empty nest जरा हो जाता है, even though I had a younger one at home. And I wanted to keep occupied. And secondly, when you're working on your own and doing your own consultancy, it's all very well, but you miss that contact with different people, different ideas. So I'm loving working here. Younger people, older people, different kinds of people, with everybody with a different view. So you can learn a lot from everyone. So that's been nice, mashallah.
Okay. Was it demotivating when you have to leave the job, your first one, when your first one was born actually?
Bisma, it was a clear choice that I made, and I think this is what most women who are married and who choose to have families are, faced with. कि आपको एक गिल्ट भी हमेशा रहता है कि अगर मैं काम करूं और बच्चा भी घर पे है, तो a lot of times it's society more than your own self. आपको सुन के लोगों से बातें होती हैं कि बच्चा रुल रहा है, कैसे होगा, how will you manage? Clear choice that I wanted to do. I wanted to continue working, and yet I wanted to give my son everything in terms of time and being there for him, kind of thing.
Okay, Fauzia, इतना diverse experience है. You must have come across females from different walks of life, and you must have witnessed a lot of different, you have got different flavors. So क्या आप देखती हैं आप females के अंदर आपके टाइम पे और आज के females के अंदर आप क्या चीज notice करती हैं? Has things eased out for them, or was it easy for you guys?
I think it's much easier for you all now. हमारे ज़माने में, and I'm giving away my age when I say that, is that there were very few people in the few women in the corporate world, right? तो हम कुछ चंद थे, वरना तो आपको पता है generally जो होते थे वो या secretarial post होती थी या teaching, nursing, इस तरह के professions में आप जाते थे. I still remember my second job. So my first job was in a securities firm. I was a broker. Money markets, and I also tried the stock exchange. So when I went to the stock exchange, let me tell you this story. I was probably one of two, at best 3 women at the stock exchange at that time. So उस वक्त बड़ा लोगों को था कि भाई किस तरह जाओगी, there are so many men there, and क्या सोचेंगे और क्या होगा और कैसे होगा. So the first thing I want to tell you is that they were all so very respectful. अगर आप कॉरिडोर से गुजर रहे होते थे, लोग नजरें नीचे कर लेते थे, honestly. But the one thing that I did face was a logistical issue. कि पहली दफा जब washroom जाना था, so I asked my guy, and he's like, हाँ चले वो floor पे washrooms होया करते थे. अब I think things have changed a lot. उस ज़माने में बड़ी office नहीं थी, everybody used the floor वाले. So I went, and there were cubicles, but there were urinals on the wall. तो ऐसे मगर यहाँ कैसे जाऊं? नहीं आप दरवाजा बंद करके चली जाएं, कोई मसला नहीं है. ऐसे मगर बाहर निकलूंगी तो ये आदमी होंगे. And then he thought about it and he's like, you're right. So should we just wait until everybody leaves? Or, it was quite a complex issue at that point. So khair, unhone phir locate kiya ki one of the other floors had a larger office where the MD was kind enough to let me use his washroom. But I'm sure things are different now. आप लोगों के लिए तो बहुत ही सहूलतें हैं, in fact, because No, what with the gender diversity agenda and the fact that it's been proven, right, that companies that have more women in higher management positions, leadership roles, have a better impact on the bottom line. So I think everybody's sort of jumping on that bandwagon now. Diversity is a huge thing. Everybody has a diversity champion, या कुछ ना कुछ agenda उनका होता है. So things are much easier now.
जब आप इस तरह के जब आपने अपनी कंसल्टेंसी स्टार्ट की एंड यू हैव टू मीट आउट पीपल, कभी आपके लिए ओवरवेलमिंग हुआ या आपको डॉन्टिंग लगा ये टास्क का, कोई डाउट्स आए आपके जहन में?
बिस्मा होता है बहुत. I quote a lot. उस जमाने में actually I remember when I would call up for someone, ठीक है, अगर अपॉइंटमेंट के लिए मैं कॉल करी हूँ या किसी से बात करने के लिए, and the secretary picks up, they would naturally assume कि मैं secretary हूँ. तो आगे से सवाल ही होता था कि कौन बात करेंगे जी? And I was like, मैं बात करूंगी. What do you mean? And एक आध दफा तो I was going to meet somebody who was a higher level individual, and the secretary, who was a female, asked me, she said, Miss or Mrs? And I was like, कैसे फर्क पड़ता है? पहले आप मुझे ये समझा दें और फिर मैं आपको बता दूंगी कि मैं शादीशुदा हूँ या नहीं इस पॉइंट पे. So these kind of things, you know, it was quite a thing. But it's been a very interesting journey, I must say. There have been a lot of sexist comments over the years. एक चीज जो मैंने देखा है वो ये है कि एक तो you have to believe in yourself. You have to be very sure of what you offer and that it is of value. ठीक है, अपने आप में बिलीफ रखना जरूरी होता है और फिर ढीठ बन जाना पड़ता है थोड़ा बहुत. I'll be honest, बनना पड़ता है, you know. I remember my second pregnancy and I had a lot of trainings which required travel lined up with the customer. और हुआ ये कि unfortunately my second one pregnancy was a very difficult one, so I was sick all the time. So I asked them to reschedule because वो शुरू के महीने थे and I thought I might get better. So I asked them, I said, I'm expecting, and ये बात. So the gentleman looked at me and he says, हमसे पूछ के तो आप pregnant नहीं हुई थी ना, so we think we'll just get another consultant. And I was like, fine. इस तरह के sexist remarks भी आपने सुने हैं. There is another big project that I recall I lost because they found out that I was expecting. And they decided कि जी ये pregnant है, ये कर नहीं पाएंगी.
अच्छा, they automatically
ऐसा भी हुआ है.
Yeah, okay. So what keeps you going? एक तो आपने कहा कि भाई ढीठ बन जाओ, लेकिन उसके अलावा कभी-कभी तो it hits you ना, it hits you really bad कि यार ऐसा हो रहा है. It's something natural. मतलब क्या मसला क्या है भाई? So how do you keep yourself motivated?
So I tell myself मसला उनके साथ है, मेरे साथ नहीं है, right? And I'm very clear about my vision. I do that. रास्ते खुल ही जाते हैं. अगर एक दरवाजा बंद होता है ना, यकीन करें 2-3 और दरवाजे खुल जाते हैं. So be sure of who you are, believe in yourself, and keep going. Do not give up.
Fauzia, since you have given me a lot of examples, you know, 𝐒𝐲𝐞𝐫, आपने बताया sexist remarks थे, तो आपके लिए एक dignified workplace का क्या concept है? आप कैसे लेती हैं dignified workplace को?
I think a dignified workplace is where everyone, I don't mean just women, everyone is respected for who they are, and differences are actually celebrated rather than pointed out and looked down upon. So we're all different and we're all the same also, right? We're all there for a reason. We're all there to make a living in a respectful environment where my contributions are respected, my opinions matter, where I am given a certain degree of autonomy to pursue what I want to pursue. You know, तो ये चीजें बड़ी जरूरी होती हैं और वही dignified workplaces होती हैं जहाँ पे ये चीजें appreciate की जाती हैं और highlight की जाती हैं.
Absolutely, I think you have very beautifully, summarized it. Fauzia, what do you think is empowerment? Because आजकल अभी आप लोगों ने global diversity का award भी जीता था, and then आजकल बहुत ज़्यादा इसका चर्चा है, तो empowerment क्या है?
Empowerment से पहले मेरे ख्याल से बिस्मा हमें ये समझना है कि अगर ये जंग है भी, right? So people talk about equality. I think more than equality, what we want is equity. Okay, there is a huge difference. Equality is कि हर बंदा बराबर है, हम बराबर नहीं हैं. हमारे challenges कहीं ज़्यादा हैं. As women, as mothers in the workplace, हमारे challenges कहीं ज़्यादा हैं. And even if you're not a mother, even if you're just a young entrant into the workplace and you're female, आप बहुत challenges face करते हैं यहाँ पे, ठीक है? Especially in a I would say in a culture like Pakistan, jahan pe a lot of men, even now, a lot of men are not used to seeing women in the workplace because उनके घरों में उन्होंने ये नहीं देखा, अपनी माँ को, अपनी बहनों को, अपनी वाइफ को काम करते हुए नहीं देखा, तो उनको एक्सेप्ट करना जरा मुश्किल हो जाता है। और मैंने ये भी देखा है बहुत जगह, और ये मेरे साथ खुद भी हुआ है, where people have rebelled, men in my teams when I was made a team lead early on in my career, I'm talking mid-90s की बात कर रही हूँ, so a couple of men turned up and said that they refused to work with me. And my boss asked them why, and they're like, ये तो औरत है, ये कौन होती है हमें कहने वाली, kind of a thing, right? We're not taking direction from a woman. So उस हद तक उस जमाने में होता था. But अब तो चले, they recognize, they may resent it or not, I don't know, but at least cloak बेहतर हो गया है. अब उनको पता है कि हमने कहना क्या है और क्या नहीं कहना. But my point was, a lot of them are not used to seeing their own women work, so they don't know how to handle the situation. हम सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट इन द वर्कप्लेस एक्ट पास हो चुका है 2010 का लॉ, हमने बहुत ट्रेनिंग्स की, बहुत अवेयरनेस इस पे करने लगे, and you'd be surprised, I see men in very high positions who have traveled the world, who are working with multinationals, who still have that mentality कि अगर इसने ऐसे कपड़े पहने तो इसके साथ ऐसा ही होगा, या अगर ये इस तरह आई. And honestly, statistics show that it's not those women that get harassed more. It's the ones who are covered. जो ज्यादा हिजाब करते हैं, जो covered होते हैं, उनके साथ harassment ज्यादा होती है. और ये इसलिए होती है because it's not about sex, by the way. Sexual harassment is not about sex. It's about power. So they feel that ये दब जाएगी, ये चुप हो जाएगी, ये दब जाएगी, इसकी मजबूरी है, और उस पे प्ले किया जाता है ज्यादा, right? Harassment में.
Fauzia, like you talked about men, and there are men clubs or there are men mentors. Do we have enough female mentors? या अक्सर मैं अपनी सारी गेस्ट से बात करती हूँ कि भाई जो असल डिसीजंस होते हैं वो मर्दों के सुट्टा ब्रेक में या सिगरेट ब्रेक में होते हैं. हम ख्वातीन के लिए कोई ऐसी होते हैं, कोई ऐसी इनफॉर्मल ग्रुप्स?
खैर बिस्मा, women also smoke, so that's quite all right. वो भी सुनते ब्रेक पे बात कर सकती हैं. But you're right, I know what you're saying, and this argument has come up a lot of places where I think it's also after work hours, right? So they might get together, चाय खाना चले गए, गपशप लगा ली, कहीं एक पराठा चाय खा लिया. Maybe the woman has to rush back home because घर पे बच्चे हैं, घर का खाना बनाना है, whatever it may be. So yes, those are a culture, and it's not just us, right? It is British Parliament में ये एक सवाल आया था कि जी ये happy hour के लिए चले जाते हैं काम के बाद for a drink or two, and that's where the most decisions are made, whereby the women have to rush home because उनको ज़ाहिर है घर का करना होता है. तो that was not fair, they said. And ये हर जगह होता है, so it's not just हमारा culture, ये हर जगह होता है, और this is one of the items on the agenda that people want to talk about. I think what we need to do is form our own circles, right? So if you've heard of Lean and Circle, हमने TPL पे भी शुरू किया है अभी, and it's going to be initiated in a wider scale right now. अभी तक तो हमने सिर्फ उसका जो कहते हैं ना कि ground work किया है अभी, but we can do इस तरह के circles, इस तरह के networks हम खुद कायम कर सकते हैं. I remember way back when Anglo had a network called Weave, बहुत सारी जगहों पे बहुत अलग-अलग नाम के, और आपकी women networking individuals के लिए भी बहुत सारे networks हैं. तो हमें कोशिश ये करनी चाहिए कि इनको ज्वाइन करें, इनसे फायदा उठाएं, आप अपने mentors ढूंढें. I think हम में से बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जिनको कभी किसी ने अप्रोच नहीं किया होगा, राइट? तो कोई कभी कुछ पूछता है आके सवाल, या कहीं हेल्प की जरूरत होती है, तो I think everyone pretty much is willing to lend a helping hand, to give a word of advice, to open doors if we can. बिल्कुल.
Mostly, I mean, previously I was attending this women leadership. It was a small seminar in IC, and they said that females they prefer male bosses. Females prefer male bosses. What's your take on that? You have gone through, you have your own journey. You must have bosses, male, female, both, and you are a boss now to somebody. And they say that female bosses, male bosses, we are comfortable male bosses because they understand things and they don't take things personally. Do you agree to that?
My opinion is a little different on that. I don't know if you will like the answer or not.
It's completely.
But a lot of times, I have seen this personally, where women who prefer male bosses are doing it because they are taking undue advantage of some sort, of the fact that, hi, मैं बेचारी औरत, hi, मैं बेचारी kind of a thing. वो कार्ड प्ले करने के लिए आपको मेल बॉस चाहिए होता है, because आपको पता है what with all this harassment का issue, and people are much more careful and much more aware nowadays. तो अगर वो कह रही है कि जी मेरा बच्चा घर में अकेला है और वो कहते हैं नहीं जी डेडलाइन आपने काम खत्म करके जाना है, तो ये कहीं से ग्रीवियंस हो सकता है, ये हरासमेंट हो सकती है, कुछ भी हो सकता है, तो वो बेचारा डर के मारे वो आदमी कहता है आप जाएं जी, आप बीवी आप घर जाएं, काइंड ऑफ थिंग. And the female boss, in all likelihood, may have gone through it herself. So I feel women tend to be harsher. I'll be honest there. Sometimes women tend to be harsher because आपको ये लगता है कि जी अगर मैंने किया है और मैं कर सकती थी तो आप क्यों नहीं कर सक रही, right? Which is also wrong. क्योंकि हर बंदे की अपनी सलाहियत होती है, अपनी कैपेसिटी होती है. So I think it's not a male or a female thing. I think we should have people, bosses who are empathetic, who give leeway and yet rein us in when we need to. कभी कभार आप खुद इंसानी नेचर है, उंगली दो हाथ पकड़ने का दिल चाहता है कि चले जी, थोड़ा बहुत मिल रहा है और लेने की कोशिश करते हैं, इंसानी फितरत है. So it's for both genders, I feel, where you should have very clear boundaries. Boundaries are very important. इस हद तक हो सकता है, इस हद के बाहर नहीं हो सकता.
Fauzia, like we बात की ख़वातीन की, and somehow they try to play the woman card. So this brings me to the next question. Who is an empowered woman to you? What's your image of an empowered woman?
Yeah, so you asked this earlier also, empowerment का जहाँ मैं equity की कहानी पे चली गई थी. You're right. Empowerment, in my view, an empowered woman is somebody who knows what she brings to the table and is not afraid to show it, right? So she's confident of what her capabilities are. She knows where her setbacks may be also. But हर दफा हमें अपना capitalize करना है अपनी strengths पे. तो ये जो empowered खातून होती हैं, वो खवातीन होती हैं, वो अपनी strengths को लेके आगे चलती हैं. They do not let other hindrances come in the way. They're very focused. They know what they want and they go after it. ये होती है empowerment, जहां आपको देखिए, आपको power कोई दे नहीं सकता, ठीक है ना? अगर आप authority की बात कर रही हैं, हाँ, authority जरूर दी जाती है, responsibility दी जाती है, but empowerment comes a lot from within, from what you are willing to do and what you are willing to give. So it's always a two-way street, Bisma. आप जितना करेंगे उतना ही आपको मिलेगा. It's not like I should sit there and feel entitled and say, just because I'm a woman, just because I am, here, I expect to be endowed with X, Y, Z. ऐसा नहीं होता. Sometimes women have to fight a lot more for what they need rather than men. Yes, that is a fact, but that's okay. That's okay too. It's unfair, but हम कर सकते हैं. हम में वो सलाहियत है कि हम वो कर सकते हैं. I feel women are far stronger than men, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Fauzia, when we all feel pressured, nowadays when it comes to global diversity and inclusion, we have to bring in females and we have to make the environment more inclusive. Do you think our females are capable of it, or they need time?
Are they capable? Are they? What was the word?
Actually, the word is, I think I used the word incorrectly before. The word is, are they ready to
Are they ready? Yeah. तो देखें, ये भी टू वे स्ट्रीट है बिस्मा. आप जब देखें इक्विटी, इक्वालिटी, आप डाइवर्सिटी, जो लफ्ज देना चाहें आप ले लें. It's all very well to start hiring women, and I tell everybody this. I've had this argument with a lot of my clients where they want to increase the gender ratio. जी औरतें और हायर करें, आप मर्दों पे कैप लगा दें, आप औरतें हायर करें. It is not about man or hiring a man or a woman. Find the best person for the job. Okay? Don't let a woman sort of be deprived if she is just as good as the man. ये मेरा सवाल होता है. और दूसरा देखें, it's all very well to up your numbers. आप में औरतें चले hire कर ली. Where is the inclusion? Inclusion is very difficult. I heard a very good example of diversity and inclusion. कहते हैं diversity is getting all kinds of players on your team. Inclusion is inviting them to play, inviting them to throw the ball, right? That's the difference. तो आपने लाके बिठा तो दिया, मगर आप उनसे काम नहीं ले रहे या उनको आवाज नहीं दे रहे. Give them a voice. Let them be heard, right? Let them contribute also. So that's what I feel. कि inclusion बहुत जरूरी है, diversity इतना numbers बढ़ाने से नहीं बनती बात.
And Fauzia, in your role, in your capacity, and the roles you have previously also you have served, how have you paved the way for your successors? How you have strengthened women? Should I come again?
Strengthen the way for myself, you're saying?
I'm asking, you are at a position right now, right? And you have led organizations also. So how you have paved the way for your successors, for how you have strengthened women in your organization?
So with the men, I feel the way you, strengthen, I think they feel they're strong enough already, but how have I contributed? I feel that authenticity is the main thing. So if you are authentic, if you are who you say you are, and आप उनके level पे जाके यानी कि उनसे मिल मिला के, don't set yourself apart and say, that I'm a China doll, that I have to be handled with kid gloves. No, I'm just as good as you, and I can take whatever you can take. So that should be the thing. I feel I've always never differentiated between men and women. मैं आदमियों से भी उसी तरह बात करती हूँ जैसे मैं शायद लड़कियों से बात करती हूँ, औरतों से बात करती हूँ. तो आपको अपने जहन में ये क्लैरिटी लानी है कि it's not about men and women. It's about colleagues. We're all here to work collaboratively together. And also remember one thing, हम काम पे जाते हैं, we're not there to make friends, right? It's not about being popular. It's about being collaborative and working together. It's not about personal likes and dislikes. You may like someone, you may not like someone, but you have to work with them. And that is a very clear definition in my mind. And it's not about personalities. It can't be. So that has helped me a lot to get along with people, to give my best, and to keep, I think one of the key things is to keep upskilling and reskilling yourself. That is the critical thing where you prove your worth in any kind of an organization, any place at all. You have to stay on top of the game, more so perhaps than the men.
Yes. Fauzia, do you believe in this thing, or how true is that women, they lack the strategic decision-making ability? Do you agree to this?
No, I do not agree with that, okay? Because I think women make decisions on far many more levels than men do. So we're taking decisions in terms of our time, how to distribute our time, how to manage the family, sometimes how to balance the in-laws, how to, work with colleagues. आपके काम है, आपका घर है, आपके पास बहुत सारी चीजों को आप बड़ी delicately handle कर रहे होते हैं. So like I said, women are far stronger and better decision makers than men. We're not good negotiators. That's a proven fact, by the way.
When I'm talking about strategic, I meant that. Yeah, okay. I think that's where we need to, upskill ourselves. Fauzia, your message to the women out there who are watching you, who are stuck in their careers, who are stay-at-home moms, they have taken career breaks, and they feel at loss. So your message to them.
So the first question is, do they want to come back in the workplace? And if they do, then they should know that, there are a lot of returnship programs. And in fact, TPL is welcoming people who have taken a break from work for whatever the reason may be, right? Men or women. हमारे यहाँ इतने examples हैं. मैं एक prime example हूँ. I was out of the corporate world for 18 odd years. 17 years, yes. There is another girl who works with us who's never worked in her life. And after God knows how many years, she decided that she wanted to get a job. I think COVID है, जो भी reasons होंगे, किसी के financial है, किसी के कुछ और reasons हैं. There was another person who handled his business for some years and then decided to come back in the workplace. तो हमने बहुत लोगों को वेलकम किया है, and I think there are a lot of other companies who do the same. आपको ये convinced होना चाहिए खुद अपने आप में कि I have something to offer. The time that I was away from work, perhaps when I took a back seat, I have been constantly upskilling and reskilling myself. I've been on top of things. I know what's going on in the industry. ये चीजों का जरा ख्याल रखें, बिल्कुल clueless ना रहें. ठीक है, जब आप geared in होंगे and you are offering something which is at par with somebody else, then why ever not? It's not the years that count, right? It's what you bring to the table. तो आपने बैक सीट ली, आपने टाइम ऑफ ले लिया, नो मैटर, आप अब क्या ला रहे हैं? What do you have to offer? Be very clear about your value proposition.
Thank you so
And
much.
also, like you said, a message, I say, let's all support each other. When I heard about, your web series, I think it's such a wonderful idea to give people, just inspiration. Sometimes we just need motivation. We need to hear somebody else's story. We need to know that we're not alone. किसी और के साथ भी हुआ है, right? And we should be there for each other.
Absolutely, because when you agreed to it, I was doubtful whether you would like to come in this series or not. Whether you agreed to it, it was really motivating and inspiring.